Hey folks, Friday evening. I slept most of the day. Gut's been playing up. Anyways, what am I doing? Well, I've been accumulating some tools lately again, as I am lacking quite a few. Some of them are specialized, some of them are quite simple. This is for violin making and instrument repair, musical instrument repair. Yeah, so originally I bought this. This is actually a new cosmetic bag that I got on AliExpress for I think around $30 to $40, something like that, free postage. I think it's a little bit more expensive on eBay for the same thing when I purchased this. I originally had tattoo equipment in it, but I've put them in that plastic container there. So I've put the tools in this and organized it. And as you can see, some tiny planes, because you only need tiny amounts of timber removed. So at the moment they'll stay in this padded bag to protect them because they're all brass except for the blades. One of the most important things that you'll probably need if you're going to use hide glue or organic glue is a tiny little heater. Again, I got most of these tools on eBay and AliExpress or online. It does the job. It's in this little leather bag to protect it. Clamps to hold the binding or to help. Neck measuring tool or height tool, angle tool with the clamp. So these can sell for over $100. Well, I got the pair I think for, I mean they can sell for $50 a piece, but I got the pair for that amount. An antique butter knife, very flexible and thin. Some wooden pegs to hold binding. This is an iron that they use for making, by the obvious shape, for making the I forget what you call it. This part of the violin, or this part, you got to wet the timber to do that. Now, in this one here, I have special clamps. These are specialized clamps to create, well I should say not create, to repair violin cracks with timbers. In here wrong one. So in here I have, what's that? No, very tiny, and I think those are 2.5 mil drill bits. Also for repair. In here I have more, and a little tiny little hand drill. This is an antique watch, which is not relevant to this, and more tiny and very tiny, under a mil drill bits come in handy for repair and delicate work. So yeah, and I see that there. That is going to be a separate video, haha. some very thin angle grinder discs. Now these are some more specialized tools, and you will find you need to square a lot of things if you want to glue them together without creating gaps. My flash just ended. Anyway, this is a purfling tool which creates, well, marks out these lines here. This binding is designed to preserve the edging or stop it from cracking any further past this part, as well as a pleasant design. This is the carving tool for that. This is a high-end one. Now there's another version of this which has a pointed end, which is a simple scraper. Looks like it's not going to focus, unfortunately, but that's a better shot. And this here is a tiny machinist square, and yes, and I say tiny. This is for squaring the sides for wood sheet to glue them together, such as the tone wood, spruce wood for the top. As an example, what that can be used for. This is what you put these on. These are some rib sides for violin, for example, that I got. I made sure they're all matching regarding the straightness of the grain, and to make sure there's no inclusions that would damage it. This is tiger maple. Anyway, you wet these, and by wetting them, you use that to shape them, and this is to hold them in because they get hot. And up here, I have see those markers? They're what they're called surgical markers, or tattoo markers, because they write on the skin, but they're also very good for writing on wood and coming off. Some metal files, a punch marker, spring loaded. It's in here. Some scrapers. I do have some large ones there, but these are specific tools, scrapers. I mean, you can make them out of old saw blades. Which means I can use these tools for other subjects, not just for guitar. Also, my Japanese, I'm not saying this is made in Japan, but this is the idea of this. This one's made in China, I think. But you can see how thin that blade is, and it's very sharp. Very thin. Means I don't have to use a saw like this. So I can use this instead of this. See if my light will work. There we go. So I usually get my tools as bundles on AliExpress, which means I can get them from under $10 each with free postage, or $6 each as a bundle on AliExpress, which means it'll save me a lot of money. Instead of paying, $6, that's always back to front. Instead of spending $20 or more on each tool, I can pay like $6 or $7 if it's a bundle on AliExpress. Some of these are very high quality. Not everyone in China cares more about money than quality. A lot of them over there want to keep a balance of good quality tools and products, as well as care about the money. There's some sellers, not just China, everywhere basically, who care more about money than quality, and that's what you have to look out for. Anyway, what's over here? These are more clamps. See if I can undo that. I have about 5 of these. These are aluminium. I think these are around 3 inches or 75 mils, something like that. I bought these to use with with the rib mold that I made. I have got others, obviously. Looks like I've got some tidying up to do. I made that. That's the new one I just done. There will be a separate video on that, hopefully. Anyways, and that's the old one I did over there. Because that violin behind this is not symmetrically square. It's off about 3 or 4 mils. But anyway, also this dust cover I had to repair because it was dry rotted. I had to glue, see, violin and cello building on repair. It actually has I think a famous person in here, as he's from Australia, and those phone numbers, as far as I know, he passed away, but apparently it was his book, because this is 1946. See if I can find that date that was in here. There you go. First published. So yeah, the dust cover I had to reinforce and glue with normal paper, as I didn't have any rice paper. But I mean, this was so dry rotted, it was just falling apart. I was going to throw it, but I thought it's part of the original book, so I'll keep it. This one is for violin making as well. It's from 1990, I think, that one, but it's a reproduction of the same book, trying to make a classical look on it. So yeah, that's some of my tools. Oh yeah, I forgot about this one. Now, one of the most important tools you need, if you're inexperienced like me, is a thickness tool like this one. This is kind of like a high-end one, aluminium and brass. You can buy these separately and make your own, probably. I think this cost me, I think, just over $60 or $70 free postage on AliExpress. On that high-end one on eBay, or for example, sells for over between $100 and $350. So you got to shop around to save money. Just don't go to the first person you come across. You can do this if you shop around, and if you've got an internet connection, such as on your phone. So, and that's how you'll save money. Also, these carving tools that I use, I'm not very impressed by these. I got these from China around under $100, but $99, but the metal has not been specially heated to harden the metal, so it's very soft trying to sharpen it. So I'm not actually impressed with those. I'll probably end up replacing them with ones that actually have been heated. And this one's over probably 100 years old, close to it. Gouging. I've cut the handle and carved that into it. It's not perfectly symmetrical. It wasn't meant to be, because someone hit it with a hammer and destroyed the end of it. Instead of using an actual timber mallet to hit it with, they used an actual metal hammer. Not too bright, whoever did that. Because woodworking does use specific types of tools, and they're sharpened a certain way and so on. And the quality as well. So, yeah, that's just some of my tools, because I also use those. And those. A large plane there. I do have other bracketry and clamps over here for tools, project, and example. I scrounged this toolbox, by the way, someone threw it out. Can't see anything because of the light, but that's clamps. Gives you an idea how big they are by my hand. I try to keep my place neat and tidy, and if I have a lot of stuff, I put them in containers. And no, I don't hoard stuff. If I can sell it, make money, I will. To me, hoarding and collecting are two very different things. Hoarders collect what is nostalgic, so it could be anything from rubbish to newspapers to everything else, while collectors only collect one specific thing that may have a number of up to 100 or 10, whatever. They're collectors. Hoarders do not care what they collect whatsoever, because it's based on nostalgic feeling that they cannot control. And I have met some hoarders who don't even throw out rubbish, and their floor will be packed high up to here, just with rubbish from food packaging and whatever else. That's a hoarder. And you'll see some front and backyards of houses completely covered in rubbish, furniture, car parts, whatever. You won't find that at my place. I don't do that. If I can't sell it or use it, I get rid of it. It'll either get chucked out or scrapped. One of the two. And if I can't fit it in my bin, I will cut it up and put it in my bin and throw it out. So yeah, my lounge needs a bit of a tidy up. Hasn't had one for a few weeks, as I'm trying to sort out some music with some words I wrote. That's a different video, but anyway, that's why I wanted to show you some tools used for what I want to be doing in the future. As I said, I got issues with my eyes. I'm using $20 okay, flash is just overheating. Yeah, I'm getting $20 glasses, so I can read and see. No good for driving really, except for allowing me to see my speed and my gauges. Yeah, because my eyesight has actually, when it comes to driving, my eyesight in the long distance has actually improved over 10 years, believe it or not. So yeah, so I might wait until I replace my glasses, because I have to get them through Afterpay. It's like $600 for multi lenses, impact lenses, so I can start doing this violin. So yeah, we'll see what happens. If I get impatient, I might start, because basically I bought these as practice, so I can practice thinning them out, because it's supposed to be 1.5 5, I think it is, mils. Someone like Stradivarius, that's what he would do, but he would carve them to a certain thickness and shape based on the violin he's doing and the sound he wants, because he lets the violin dictate the sound it's going to make, basically. And the numbers he uses in millimeters, it's all based on experience, basically, on the sound he wants for that instrument. Because he did harps, cellos, guitars. Yeah, he did a lot of things, not just violins. And the most common misinformation or misconception is violin bows, cello bows, they were considered a throwaway at the time when they were made 300 years ago. And which means none really survived. I think there's only 2 examples that Stradivarius made, the Italian maker. And they can be worth just as much as a violin in some cases. That's how rare they are. Because once they broke or something like that, they didn't repair them, they just threw them away. And you've got to remember that the adjustable bolt bows that we have today were invented by the French in the 1870s, I think, 1800s. So before that, they were all fixed. They did not have a screw end for the frog. So, yeah, and most of the common ones today are made out of plastic, not ebony or hardwood. Anyway, you can search this online if you want. There's a lot of libraries and museums online and dedicated websites for this information. So yeah, there's some of the tools I use. So hope you appreciate it. If not, give a thumbs down or a thumbs up. Thank you.